us in on the program this morning, Daybreak EBS Reloaded. We just highlighted in the beginning of the program while reviewing papers that we're going to be looking into another aspect of what seems very relevant to our political campaigns, reshaping of political campaigns and democratic deliveries in Nigeria and across board. This morning we have in the midst Mr. David, Mr. Mark Ade Agbodeshi Samuel. You're welcome, sir, to our show.
Thank you very much, sir.
Mark Agbodeshi is a business consultant and public affairs analyst. We have had him severally on our shows. Yeah,
Yes,
and
it's always a pleasure.
good. So you're welcome, sir, this morning. Like we're talking about technology, how it has helped to reshape political campaigns and made political participation, especially amongst youth, very feasible and participatory globally, especially Nigeria, with Nigeria in focus particularly. So in the first place, we are in a digital age, the IT era. Do you believe that technology has, in a way, helped us as a country? The event of technology and IT, technicalities, has it helped Nigeria politically in political campaigns and bringing information closer to the people, to the electorate and the electee?
Thank you very much, Mr. Kayode. Of course, technology is a very critical and important tool that aid man to make things, to do things well and do things correctly. And it's not out of place to say technology have impacted the world generally, be it politically, be it non-politically. Technology is very, very important. Yeah, we are in EBS today. It is aided by technology. The whole world can see me and hear me having this conversation with you.
Yeah.
So without technology, that cannot be done.
Yeah.
Political campaigns, public opinions is shaped by technology because it gives a wider reach.
Yeah.
Those days of the newspaper era, where the newspaper are paramount, you need to go to the newspaper stand,
the vendor stand,
you quarrel and argue and see. But now, because of the aid of technology, you can just sit down with the comfort of your home, with your mobile phone, and you can get information. You can listen to the radio, you can watch television. So technology is playing a critical role. Though yes, it comes with its own challenges, but to me, if it is being managed with regulatory procedure, regulatory policies, it will yield so much.
But let's look at our climb as a country, Nigeria, or let's look at Africa. Let's streamline it back to Africa. When you talk about technology, digital technology, as it were, Africa has its challenges, especially like in Nigeria. We have so many challenges in terms of challenges like the effectiveness of our system, talking about networking, power, social challenges, and also the level of literacy and belief in our political system. Now we're looking at campaign, reshaping political campaigns. What are campaigns? Now, in this kind of environment, do you think that with the challenges that we have, let's first of all look at it from the literacy angle and, the readiness of the black person. Somebody once said, if you want to hide some information from a black man, write it in a book. Now we agree that now we are in a browsing era, and nearly everybody, every child, every adult, every student has a phone. Now we're talking about political campaigns, belief in the political class, manifesto dissemination, idea dissemination, like recently, like you talked about vendors, those days we used to go to the vendor stand and like, do you now think that what technology has put to us, digital technology has put to us on our table as Africans, do you think that we are exploiting it so much to our benefits in understanding what the political class has in stock as content for us, that we're reshaping our views about who to vote for or who to follow?
Well, thank you very much. I think, let me not use the word, for more than 2 decades, technology has been part of our system. And we have been growing at every stage. We have been growing at every stage. So it means that though it comes with its own challenges, peculiarity to our own Nigeria situation when it comes to those who have control over most of our public opinion. But technology to a large extent has helped disseminate information to the downstream, you know, things now, as you said. In terms of campaigns now, what has technology done? Technology has able to bring candidates to their potential voters.
Yeah.
With technology, candidates can sell their campaign ideas, can sell their manifestos, can even sell their vision and mission to the people.
Yeah.
Then the people will now look at it and say, hey, and x-ray what he has said. Of course, before you cannot even see the person to hear from the person, so you just read from the newspaper. That is when someone tells you about it, for those who don't even have the time, opportunity to read. But now you can hear and see. Then you can make informed judgments on your own. In campaigns, as far as you say, let's narrow it down to Nigeria, let's narrow it down to Africa. In fact, even in the world, campaigns are funded by huge amount of
money,
financial resources. Let's keep the human and resources out there. For funding of campaign, technology have made it easier for political parties to raise funds. Now you can prepare a GoFundMe account and just post it in an official platform for people to sit at the comfort of their home and transfer money. How do you transfer? It's not technology. It's indeed technology. So it has shaped that. It has helped politicians to reach to their people. It has helped the people to hear and understand what their politicians are saying. And it has even helped in monitoring political activities. Hey, I'm working, show your workings. Technology is the tool that you can use to now show your workings as a political person. You understand? So technology has played a critical role. So I must say, there are challenges, but we learn. I always say this is an age of awareness for we Africans and especially Nigeria. So we keep learning and correcting ourselves. So where we fail, if you remember the last time Twitter or X now was banned in Nigeria for a period of time, you know, and the Nigerian government learned from that experience, just like the people also learned from that experience. So while Twitter was banned, other technology assets were there that people can leverage in. So that's why technology is very beautiful. It does not streamline you to one place. There are multiple channels that you can access. And some of these technological things I'm talking about, like the social media, these are technological tools. Like for election now, the BVAS, the IREV, these are all technological tools that can be used to amplify and reach out to the people in one way or the other. So these are the big data you use to get data analytics from to know the voters' demography. Both by political parties and canvassers. They use technology because you need technology to analyze this data and decentralize it according to the demography you want it to be. So it will be easy for you to know how to reach a particular kind of population. If I want to send a message to the youth, because of the data available for me, using digital technology and analysis tools, I can say, okay, this categories for the youth. I will streamline my message that will be suited to that age gap. I want to send a message to the elderly, 60 years and above. I have to streamline my message to suit their age category. I will not be sending the youth, an elderly person, some message that I know that he will see it. This is a Gen Z generation now. There are some things you will say. The Gen Z will look at it and laugh at it. But there are some things you will say. The old school will look at it and say, are you serious? This person doesn't have sense. You understand? So that's what technology have done.
No, but it's okay. We agree that we are in the artificial intelligence era and technology has taken over for more than 2 decades. That's what you said. But, you know, we have always had challenges between what happens in Africa and the Occidental. Followership and belief in a political structure that we attract the Gen Z in Obama was campaigning, or when Donald Trump Obama was campaigning, or when Donald Trump, the current second two-time head of state now, was campaigning, moving from state to state, Milwaukee to California and shifting Texas campaign. You see, the campaigns were made easier and orchestrated by IT and technology. Americans followed, and the Democrats also followed. When there's an uproar, in followership. People, like you said, in Western climes, these billboard campaigns and all of that, mobilizing using vehicles is not very attractive again, because it's a very cost effective and cost intensive rather, and the crowd that moves because of security risk too, and the risk of being killed by opposition parties. So in those climes, people can stay glued because it has been brought closer to them, because they are interested in the process and the system and in governance, because the people believe in the sincerity of purpose of the people that are campaigning to lead them. So it has been of more advantage when results were being reeled still on the system. Followers were there. When results in California or Milwaukee were being released, read across board. In the airports, you can watch scores coming in, rolling in. There's an advantage. It gives both the campaigners, the elected and the electees, the direction to which it creates, it reduces tension and pressure.
It does.
Now, but in Nigeria, especially in Africa, let's use Nigeria as a case study. We have had human interference. We have had huge human interference and sabotage that makes people, no matter how you preach this message now, we have had huge challenges with fingerprinting, beavers, IREV malfunctioning because of human interference with what was originally designed to make followers less tensioned. Whatever. Do you think that technology in terms of delivery, our mechanical approach of hiring vans and horns, town criers, to bring information to the grassroots? And also, let's look at the grassroots. Let's look at the grassroots in Nigeria and Africa. The grassroots is where you have the regional votes are higher than the urban votes. So, if you go to places like Okpekpe or Inegba, for instance, as we speak, most of those people don't have modern phones that could actually capture and what is on board. Do you think that technology, as it were, can be a right device, IT, or a right adoption to be used to bring campaigns, manifestos, promises to the reach of the grassroots person?
Of course, 100%.
Okay.
Why am I saying this?
Yeah.
Yes, technology comes with its own challenges.
Yeah.
Let me go back to what you said about AI. Yeah. You noticed quite recently there's so much disinformation being used, being disseminated out there using AI.
Yes.
Someone will just sit down and
just coin
something and
it
just add the face to
before
it.
You know,
with the deep fakes.
Before you know.
But yes, those are the challenges that comes with this technology. But I think the advantages, the advantages is supposed to outweigh, it outweighs the disadvantages. Why am I saying this? As you said, reaching the grassroots, the technology infrastructure we have does not limit. It's not limited to only mobile phones or digital. The radio frequencies, the radio channels.
Yes.
I think virtually every community, in those days in the north where we grew up, you see the Hausa man.
With his BBC Hausa. It's there, glued on the ears.
Those persons will have more information than some of us at the urban center.
Yes.
Because we are so busy moving around, we pay less attention to it. So the radio is also a technological tool that information can be sent downward. And also, don't forget, we are talking about election, we are talking about campaigns. And when campaigns are done, when campaigns are being organized, few things are always common when it comes to campaign. You set up a campaign council.
Yeah.
Is that not so? You set up a campaign council, you decentralize it to wards,
zone, and
units.
Yeah.
So there, the campaign bodies or the campaign council will identify the challenges
in all
peculiar to different
wards and units.
Different wards and units.
Yeah.
Then they can target the use of the technological tools to those people.
Yeah.
So it means that virtually everybody can be reached in one way or the other. And another way you can reach, there may be someone in the town who got the information. He will now print it out using technological infrastructure like printing now, and take it to those communities to disseminate. So technology can work. But hey, when it comes to election, that hiring of vehicle, sound system, moving people, galvanizing is part of it. You cannot take that out of it for now. Even in the US, the political class, they gather somewhere and have a conversation. You see large turnout of people gathering. It's part of what makes politics very sweet, because you need to still reach out to the people physically apart from through digital technology. So I think the advantage is more, it outweighs its advantage. So it's just for you to know how to manage and target it. So in Africa, in Nigeria, the challenges are enormous. So you can see that the voters' education that was done, the last election that has still been done now, because of the by-elections that are coming, the voters' education is being channeled through technology mostly, and that's the best way you can do it. So you go, this is the timeline for election, this is the timeline for voters accreditation, this is the timeline for this. Technological tools aid all those things and makes it easier for people to know and understand these things. So to me, it's better. It's better we embrace it and follow up with it, because the mistakes that were discovered in 2023, let me bring it closer. People are making conscious effort to ensure that such a mistake will not work. And the best way to do that is to use technological tools to harmonize people. See people using WhatsApp, creating WhatsApp group, having space, having spaces discussion, having different live broadcasts, Zoom meetings are going on everywhere. These are all technological tools. Now I can speak, I can be here, have a Zoom meeting with the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in a call, or with any political person anywhere in the world. So I can hear from that person, and strategies can be developed. Strategies can be planted via technological infrastructure discussion. So to me, it's better that way. No, but you don't need to fly person from Abuja, fly multiple people from Abuja
to come to participate in an interview, or
interviews. You can
assume that participation is
even when they are conducting election. What is it called again? Where different candidates will come together to display their manifesto.
Okay.
Even when such a thing is happening, well, that is what's it called again? Election.
Okay, you're talking about when the pairing and the delivery of manifestos live on television station, on radio, it can be comes emergence of political parties to get their opinions and discussion sections and presentations. It is made easy.
It made easy for people to hear those people who want to campaign, who want to...
What they have for the people. Now, if you look at... We are still looking at the disparity between the way the Western world have taken advantage of the IT and technological system for campaign and how it has taken them far. Now, you remember that when Emmanuel Macron was campaigning, we are just opposing the West and Africa, and we are using Nigeria as a case study. Now, you see, the irony is that all of these advantages that we have enumerated about technology, we are just waking up in Africa.
Of course.
We have so many challenges.
Of course.
Most Africans don't even believe in the political system.
Of course.
That's the truth, because of what we are apparently facing: deprivation, illiteracy, power surge, mosquitoes, poverty, food hike. So we have more challenges to face and grapple with that the democratic political system has not been able to live so much well up to expectation in terms of promise delivery. So it has made most Nigerian political followers, African followers, to lose hope in the political class. Right there in Europe, campaigns, the movement of people, mass movement of people by hiring of vans and horns and campaign teams ranging from one constituent to another, is highly reduced, and the risk of accidents and being attacked by opposition parties. Now, they took advantage, and you can clearly know who will win, because the system is tested and trusted.
The polls are always there.
The polls are always there, but there is no perfect system or structure anywhere. There can still be challenges. You remember when is it Hillary Clinton lost her first election against Donald Trump.
Yeah, Trump, yeah.
There was allegations that the system was tampered with by some Russian hackers, and results were altered. We have had all of these challenges everywhere. So what we're saying is that, but now in Africa, especially in Nigeria, we find out that with all of these advantages that technology has, we still have a huge soaring amount that politicians present as what their campaign budget is. And so one begins to wonder, are we the so-called advantage that we see technology has put on our table? You know, we look at the Hausas. The Hausa BBC Africa, some people are more prone to what advantage? The average Hausa Northerner, even the cattle rearers, the headers, they have their small radio to grab information democratically, so they know where the votes or where the movement is. I remember during the Kwankwansia Amana movement in Kano, most of those people were not too literate, but the average cattle rearer in the cattle market with a small radio can tell you that this is the move. The era of Sebaba of Buhari, when they said they wanted to change of APC before he became president, radio technology was also a huge advantage to the north, central, northeast, and you know. But we find out that here, in spite of all of this advantage that would have reduced cost and risk, we still have huge budgeting and fraudulent presentation of the cost of campaign, which we know is very expensive in Nigeria. What it takes the American president to pick his presidential nomination ticket or form is not is diametrically opposed to what it, for instance, you know, the APC and the other parties, they're saying that recently have 20 million, 30 million to pick a form for MPs. Do you think that all of these advantages that we're exploring and talking about has reduced cost and brought pressure to bear or to a lesser dimension in the political class and followership?
Well, when we're having this conversation, I think we need to look at the peculiarity of the people we are talking about.
Yes.
We are learning from the Western world.
Okay, go ahead.
We are learning from them. So we cannot say when we adopt technology, they have been there for years.
Okay. They
have been there for years. So when it comes to campaigns, you have to bring things to the local context. What works for you? It's all about what works for you.
Yes.
At the stage you are, because every stage will transcend as we progress.
Yeah.
You understand? So the huge spending for Nigerian election is because of what works for us for now. But that does not take out technology, because for them to even galvanize people now is more than before.
Yeah.
You can have wider reach now than before.
Yeah.
So what works for us now, yes, we still need to do all those gathering of people and the rest for assets. Now, when I know that the IREV, the BVAS, and other election tools are backed by law, and anything that is being done there is 100% backed by law, the approach will be different. I don't know if you are getting
yes.
So now you need to canvass people to be on ground at the collation center. You need people to be on ground to watch eye to eye and see what is happening there. If you trust the system, that is the election managers now, the election resources
handlers,
or election tools.
Yeah.
If you trust the system, it's about trust. People have not trusted it very well, because those who are supposed to give us that trust, they are not there yet. But you know what? Definitely we have to come to terms with it, because we cannot remain here at this stage
forever.
So that was one point I want us to understand here, because yes, the Americans and the rest, they don't take too much. They do. They have influx of people. Even the Trump campaign, just check the billions of dollars that was spent in that campaign. Compared to our Nigeria dollar to naira rate, you see how huge that money is. So it's not so cheap even to run campaigns there, even with the digital technology that they are leveraging. I know, because there they have rules. And the rules, if you go against the rules, you face the penalty.
Yeah, that's it.
Now we have not gotten to that stage yet. So if we have such rules and regulations that guide our activity, it will reduce the need to gather people at every stage of the political awareness or campaign.
Yeah.
So I think, as I always say, this is the age of awareness for Africans, for Nigerians. We are getting aware now, and we are getting informed now. So gradually, these things will be corrected.
Yeah.
The disaster or the challenges that we have faced over time, we are learning from them. So if our political class are not ready to take lessons and start correcting these things using the law to make it a legal thing to make it. The technology is already galvanizing young people
together,
bringing them
to
be
together,
having these discussions, and be talking about it. So, and it is same that technology that the young people are going to use to raise a voice and say, hey, we are tired of this, the way you people are handling this thing, and they will revolt. So the politicians and those in political authority need to look at that angle, because young ones, the youths, are seriously galvanizing using technological tools, especially the social media, to bring information and also enlighten one another. So now the awareness is there. So the government need to take strategic action to ensure that whatever technological tools governments need to put in place for INEC to deliver clean, clear election that can be traced from the voting stage to from the accreditation stage
collation and announcement,
to the collation and announcement, that can be traced, that can be an audit trail for it, the better for the development of our country.
Now, but look at what somebody said. He said, looking at the positive and negative impact of technology in campaigns and democratic delivery across board in Africa and in the Occidental, the West. Somebody has said that, you know, in as much as we agree, like your narration, that about technology has brought close to 44% of positive, impact on the people by, making campaign and democratic delivery closer to the people, the internet, all of this IT material that we use, the radio. There are still some negative impacts in democratic campaigns and results. About 11% believe that technology has been used so bad to blackmail opposition party, disseminate wrong information talking about AIT, and dissuade people and mislead people. So, do you believe that in Africa or in Nigeria, the area of the advantage of technology in campaigns and democratic delivery and disadvantage, do you believe that it has been more advantageous to us? Because if you look at some of these cases that come up after election results, some challenges in result delivery and belief system, where collation or machines can be tampered with and becomes dysfunctional, and at last the results are announced. So in terms of negative impact and positive impact as a country, do you believe that the way we are going as a nation democratically, do you believe that we are going to end well or have more positive impact with the advantage that technology is putting on our table than disadvantages? Because we have seen cases where 1, 2, 3 hours and later it comes up, and before you know, information short change. People no longer have confidence. In terms of advantage and disadvantage of technology,
I always say it. Every good thing comes with its own disadvantage. Okay, so when it comes to Nigeria, putting it in context now, we have seen, I cannot use that word, how technology is being exploited when it comes to politics in Nigeria. And if you heard me clearly, before I rounded up the last statement, I said people are now aware. People are now galvanizing. People are now having cluster discussion using technological tools and watching the government to see their intention, if they are really ready to deliver well. Human interference is our problem here. Human interference is our problem because our politics here is not yet mature. Our politics here is all about who has the money, who has the godfather. So that is why there's so much human interference. So, but hey, even with that,
yeah,
I still believe that the technology can help us shape our political orientation. It can help us shape our political orientation. Now, looking at the misinformation that technology can be used, yes, it's very serious here. Because I can just sit down and crap something about somebody, just damage the reputation of somebody, and I will just boost it. I will boost it using technological tools. Before you know, within 20 minutes,
it's everywhere.
100 million persons have seen that information. But to correct it also, where do you think the correction will come? Same tools, same resources can be used to correct it. That's where law, I always say, law comes in. When there is regulation, regulatory this thing is there, people will be guided, and people will know that there are consequences for everything. So if I assassinate your character, character assassination now, because I am a mega party, I assassinate the character of another upcoming party on our opposition. There is no law to hold me accountable and adjudicate and even methods where abuse of power is there. So the law must be forthright. The law must be blind as it's supposed to be. But that's our challenges here now. The law is not blind. If I belong to the ruling class, I tend to be above the law.
The law, yeah.
You understand? That is the problem we have here. It's a peculiar problem in Nigeria and even in Africa. So if you are, it's my party that is the party in power now.
Yeah. I
can do anything. All right, let's shift. Come to me. Your sins are forgiven. But hey, people will learn. People will evolve. And this will not remain as it is.
Yeah. That's the contest. I also believe that people will change, people will learn, and systems will evolve. So you believe that we are going to get there, just with time and the sacrifices.
Definitely.
Because somebody wants to make parties lose election. But you see, why we're talking about the grassroots in Africa, people still need to be properly sensitized. The movement is right now because there are challenges. His crops are in the farm. There are attacks everywhere, insecurity. Now, all of those fears, and there's hunger. He needs to go cultivate for the family and sell some products in the market. Now, in that kind of situation, it is, your guess can be as good as mine, that it is clear that most cocoa farmers in Ibadan are politically articulated. People have said that political awareness in the north is heavier than those of us in the south.
They capitalize on it.
Okay, they capitalize on it. So, in reality, if somebody says that social media campaign is not a polling unit for voting, the people who actually will be reached into grassroots, do you agree with that statement?
That is 100% correct.
Good.
Election does not end in social media.
Okay.
Social media is just a tool to amplify the voice of those who are seeking for electoral position, to share their manifesto and their vision to the people. So what social media does is to let people see and hear. So the main thing is the galvanization of the people
in the grassroots.
That's why I said earlier, when it comes to campaign, there will be campaign offices. There will be people where the discussion, who will be the galvanizers from unit level. Every unit will have a unit head. But social media can amplify the voice of anybody seeking political office. And yes, grassroots campaign is necessary. That's why I say we must localize it. Let's look at what works for us. Grassroots campaign is what works for us here.
Yes.
The technological tools are being used for the grassroots campaign. Yes. Because the door-to-door, the mosquito campaign, the mosquito campaign you do these days, you capture data. Even if you record it, you transmit it to a digital footprint where you can decentralize the data according to age, demography,
and reach out to
you reach out to the people.
To the multitudes.
So you must go door to door and reach out to the people. Then you use technological tools to amplify the
boost,
Then those days, during campaign, you see people getting text message virtually every week because your phone number has been gotten somewhere. So they can use that phone number to be send you text message. I am this. I'm coming for this position. I will do this for you. You'll be getting those text messages. So, yes, don't end it at the social media. Develop cluster areas in the community, in the wards, in the units.
Like report
and build,
rooms, feedback rooms, they are built on
momentum. And these are being done right now. Because the WhatsApp groups are there, the different groups are there to galvanize people and start having conversation. From there, you can now call for a physical meeting. Then you can now reach out to these people. While those who go for the door-to-door campaign move
on their own.
On their own, start moving, because every ward is supposed to be having a ward meeting. That's how political structure is in Nigeria.
It's built,
So every ward we have ward meeting. So from there you can now know your people. And the ward is not constituent of people outside the ward. Mostly people within the ward. Though outside may not be up to 10%, but most of them are within the ward. So are people you know you can talk to.
Now, do you also believe that political public opinion, as orchestrated by social media, has helped, people, followership in Nigeria political system?
Yes.
To find a bearing on who to believe or where to go.
Let me remind you something, and our viewers out there. People don't even know that it's delegate that determine who will become the candidate before, until a few years back. And how do people know about it? Because of the technological tools. If the delegate do not appoint or select the right person, whoever the delegate brought to power, that's the person. And that's why people know that, okay, delegate collect huge amount of money and they are being directed
on who to.
Have been scripted on who to be. People are now aware. People are now putting eye on their delegates. That's why I say we are in the world of we are in the age of awareness. So people are now aware that delegates play a critical role when it comes to our political culture in Nigeria. So we will not get there if technological tools and the social media and everything was not there to amplify the need to look out to those delegates. You understand, sir? So that's all the things we need to understand. Technology helps us to understand and amplify information that were coded.
Public opinions.
They were coded. So public opinions are now guided, because I now know that, hey, I need to join a political party. So that I can find a way to do all those things. So those awareness, those are the public opinions that people are having now. So more people are aware. Just look at the last voter registration. You can see the new entrants. Large majority of people within the last 5 years have joined the voting age. You see people are over 50, 60 telling you, now my first time why they vote with this. And you'll be surprised. How did they get to come to that consciousness?
To be convinced,
They come to that consciousness because of the awareness that the technological tools and social media and others have brought, and media houses are brought to their forefront, because the more they see and hear, it's ready for participation, political participation. So I think there's a critical role technology plays.
But now, as we begin to shape up to round up, viewers will be talking with Mark Adebodeshi Samuel.
Yes, thank you.
With very profound political analysis of some of the advantages and the algorithms that we can be able to benefit from digital campaigning. Now let's look at some of the challenges that can be faced. Digital political campaigning in contemporary African society. Let's look at Nigeria. What do you think are the challenges, and how can these challenges be regulated? Remember that there was a time when an administration banned the use of Twitter because they believed that it was being used as an anti-government instrument. What do you think can be a regulation to all of the SSCs that critics can bring in derailing followership or information that will reach the final viewers or voters by way of distorted information and taking advantage? Do you think there should be restrictions, and what regulatory measures can be taken, especially from the IT world and digital data? Now the tweeting you know, they have to stop it because they said, well, it is anti-government and it's not giving us a good image. So the challenges, and how this IT campaign system can be regulated to avoid or minimize abuse and the real opinion of followership.
It's very clear what the expectation is. Very, very clear. Let the law work.
Who lets the law work now?
Good. That's where we should be talking about. Yeah. Because of everything.
Yes.
You know, the cyber crime law was passed. Is that not so? Yeah. How do we abuse it? Do you understand? So how do we abuse it? So, yes, people, if I know that I send in wrong information out there, I can be sued, and the law will catch up with me. I will not send wrong information out there. If I know because I belong to the ruling class, even if I belong to the ruling class, I defame the character of another opposition, that I will be held accountable by the law. I will not defame the character of that opposition. So first is the regulation. The regulation should be clear, and the regulation should be followed irrespective of political affiliation. So that's where we are missing it. And secondly, if someone gets information and posts it out there with proof of those information, how does the regulatory agency, the government agency, that is the police, the EFCC, how do they act? Do they go to dig in deeper to get the culprit whose evidence have been shown that at least these headers, which day here I saw a news where one of the bandits has an official X-handle where he said they should open dam. If they don't open the dam, there's going to be problem. But nobody has traced that to get that man arrested. So the aim to ensure that the laws are followed. That those in the House of Rep, House of Senate who are supposed to ensure that those laws are followed must be genuine. They must show the people that yes, we have you in mind, and whatever it is that is, or anybody will just post anything, and anybody will just post anything, and the people also, you should know that there is a law that can help you to fight such people. Most times, Nigerians, we are just, I believe.
Challenges are regulating excesses or abuse. You think that we have not done much enough?
No.
And bringing culprits to
who are abusing it?
You can ask, you can tell us that.
Who are abusing it? The people in power are the ones that mostly abuse it. I just cited an example. If I speak so much that we affect the popularity of a ruling party, they will pick me up. Not mind whether what I'm saying
in less than a second.
What I'm saying is true or not.
Yes.
Why is your voice against?
Why are you anti?
Why are you against us? So
why are you
Twitter was banned.
Yes.
Twitter was banned. Yeah, it comes to so many. Twitter was locked
up for so
without
many explanations. The genuine users.
The genuine users. How many people constitute that aspect? Because they felt that they don't want. That was the voice where the people are now.
You know,
shouting and calling the government
to order.
Do this right, do this right, do this right. They banned the Twitter.
Yes.
You know, so government must show genuine intention. Yes, allow opposition to also thrive. Opposition is good for governance.
Especially when criticism is practical.
Yes, it is practical. If it's not practical, let it be open.
On the table.
Don't just pick someone and just lock him up for years. Let him pass through the judicial process and let that person get fair hearing. Then the person can now have an opportunity to present his or her evidence.
After passing through the process.
You will not give that person. You will just label the person as this. In fact, sometimes they just put fake news, and just send it. So those are the things. Genuine intention is not there. Enforcing the law is not there. And
you believe that all of this should be improved on by the ruling class?
It just have to be improved. If not, we will remain where we are until serious catastrophe will not happen. Because around us now it is happening. You see the youths are rising.
Already building up.
The youth are rising. Every government that is intentional positively intentional towards the growth of his people must understand, must read the room.
Yes.
Must read the room that the youth are rising. And the best way to do it is to let them see the good intention of the government towards the people.
Practical. That builds trust.
Practical.
Yeah, that
not using digital tools now to make it feel as if everything is working.
Like propaganda.
You say everywhere good, make I see them.
Yes, no, practical.
Make I see.
Now, but let's quickly, finally, now we have seen that most public opinions, especially from the social media, does not translate to victory or acceptance by the people. Why do you think so? We have seen people who have been so popular social media information in campaigns. We have seen people whose rating by information that people get across media have been very, very high. Let's look at the Peter Obi movement of the Labour Party some years past. From all indications, social media transmission, belief and followership became very high, and people believed that it was going to translate into a change of the system or into victory for him. Why is it that most social media ratings does not translate into what the electoral body gives to us as result here in